Hi, if you'd like to come on in for a little divination dose, we'll see what the scrolls have to say, and we'll add on tarot and oracle along the way. I was about to say spirit box, but it is charging, so apologies. I'll be the spirit box today. If you'd like to join me, we'll close the eyes, releasing the race and the rush, cleansing the palette of perception, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to all those who like, share, and subscribe, and to those who donate and support the channel. Like, you warm my haunted heart. Thank you. Thank you, truly. Okay. Let's see a little inspiration we have going on for today. Ooh, lots of higher self-help coming on. This is, like higher self-help. There's information coming down. Like it's, I want to say like data downloads, but it's coming from the higher self source. And there are also synchronicities or messages being infused in things that, I'm going to say they're masked. They're masked in mundane things, but they really hold information. So it's kind of like one of those things, the way it's coming into my mind of, like, say there's a certain tarot deck or a piece of art or a book that you've just never really have gotten to or didn't connect with, and then suddenly you do. It's like one of those things. Like maybe you have a purse or a shirt that you generally didn't like. Something mundane, like, and I mean mundane by like tangible. And then it just suddenly clicks and you're like, oh. So information's there. Okay, sorry. So I'm seeing a multi-dimensional fly. Something about a lot of eyesight. It's like seeing the spectrum of the eyes. Like prismatic. What is that? It's kind of bringing me into like having astigmatism. Something with the light coming at me and it gets all weird. I don't know if somebody's perception is changing. Not changing. I want to use the word prismatic. And I'm not really sure how to apply that into something, but maybe it's not for me to shove into. So I'll leave that for you. See, there's Aries, Mars, like I want to shove this in, but no, it's okay. But prismatic is the word, like prismatic perception. Okay, so that's helpful. It's like having perception, and because it's like turning prismatic, whatever that may mean, but the way I'm seeing it is like some of these mundane things suddenly click and you're like, yes, okay. And now I have perspective. I'm seeing bears. Yeah, they're bears, and they're also in my eyes. I feel more empathic when I'm looking at these eyes. Sorry, I'm just going to grab a different deck here that I wasn't expecting to utilize. Yep, they're bears. Like bear. So the bear symbology may mean something to somebody. It's like that coming out of hibernation. Something about the sight and seeing things. As you come out of hibernation, you're seeing the light and it can be like so bright. And ironically, it's bringing me into like, you know how there's like retreats where people are quiet, or there's like yoga retreats, whatever the case may be, some sort of retreat. But in this one, they're I don't know if they're blindfolded or there's no light for a certain amount of time. And then after, whatever it is, 5 days, 3 days, 9 days, 20 days, I don't know. And then they take off this thing, like blindfold after this time. And I can see it, like it's so slow to be like, oh my goodness, it's so bright. But then when I get there, like to take it in, to see the world in color after being in darkness. That's what it feels like. It's like I've been trying to force something. Maybe intellectually. And then when you just kind of, it sounds cheesy, but like you surrender into it and, anyway. Okay, so if you know me, I'm going to scry the art first on the card. And I don't think with the lighting it's all that helpful to you. She has a lampshade on her head. Appearance, vanity, physical well-being. I'm going to see something. You're going to see something. There might also be something that's coming to the surface in a rabbit hole I'm going to acknowledge because it's blatantly stepping into my mind and I really, don't want to. But like information you might have an inkling about. Like you might have, again, that perception. You're like, clues, maybe something in a relationship or regards to a job. And then it's going to come to light. Yes, there might be somebody in this realm. Like if you have an inkling, there might be somebody cheating around you. Now that could be in business, also, relationships of many kinds. But I kind of want to bring it home for 2 seconds. Not to be cheating oneself. Because I'm seeing a bat with gargoyles. So, okay, it's a bat with gargoyles as wings. Interesting. So I'm getting the sensation that these gargoyles are, and they talk. So like as this subconscious flight, or apply what you made to the bat symbology that feels well to you, and then bring in the gargoyles as though when the wings are flying, or when a bat is flying around, whatever they hear, the gargoyles bring home and talk to the bat about. So basically, even if it's not in regards to that, in cheating yourself, like I keep telling myself, I'm happy, I'm okay, or, no, this is okay, this is enough. It's like you might be cheating yourself out of an opportunity just by simply even maybe admitting to the universe, I am grateful, but I would like to look for this. And it's received. It's received through the faith of these frequencies. And it's almost like by admitting that, whatever faith in figures you may have or deities, the kindnesses come flooding in even more through the higher self that takes on these forms. There's a victory. There's a victory. And finding direction. Personal, professional, business, all that kind of good stuff. Your channels, your business. And this is kind of going to be one of those things of how do I say that in a kind way? Money, business, career, desire for riches. Okay, so maybe this is regards into business. Obviously can be applied. There's a temptation around. You're going to avoid the temptation is how I feel. You're going to avoid the temptation. It's like this funneling, and there's a funnel on this. Okay, so with all of this information coming down, This higher self downloads information being flooded into the mundane for this prismatic perspective, right? Because I'm moving away from how I'm feeling, from this tunnel vision or funnel vision. I'm going to call it funnel vision, because the funneling of the frequencies is coming down, but then it's moving into mundane things for me to see as opportunities. And even if they're obstacles, it's like, I don't want to lie to myself and say, well, I know it's an obstacle, it's going to help. Some obstacles are not like they're not meant for you to, but like there could be for somebody else, and they've put you in a place to kind of like break them down, break down these barriers on their behalf. Does that make sense? Anyway, so you're going to be, if not already, you're receiving these synchronicities to see these things. There is something about a faith, maybe a prayer. You might talk to somebody, like somebody higher up if it is business oriented. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you know something. You're seeing some schemery afoot at work. Like, so I don't know what it is. Nonetheless, I feel like once I admit to myself, I'm seeing these things, like I'm not crazy, or maybe it's my gifts, right? Like I'm receiving these inspirations to help me understand what is more so an opportunity for me to pursue. Like I said, it's like picking up a deck and suddenly it all makes sense, but you might have struggled through it for a little while, or you just didn't connect with it. And you're like, oh, now it makes sense. Like there's something about the timing of it. Because some sort of internal fears have been tamed. So now it can flood through. What stayed on the bottom here? Dust devil, moving out of stagnation. Yeah, so even if it's like self-inflicted schemery or something in regards to business, or maybe it's affecting your business, partnerships. Without blowing things out of proportion, but integrate. This is about things being integrated as well. Whatever information you're receiving, it's being asked to be integrated. It's like there's information here, like say if this was a book or, whatever the case may be, whatever these mundane things are. And now it's being integrated for you to have like the spidey sense. That's what it feels like. Reconciliation. So it's like as things become revealed, you have to reconcile with seeing that with this new sight. New information that you integrate to it's like one of those things like I didn't know. I had no idea. And then you still have to reconcile with that. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Sorry, I had an itch. Do we have any closing out messages for those that are updating their eyesight, is how I'm feeling anyway. Herald of change is coming through. On the bottom, we have deep dive or deep diver, diving into a task. You know what it makes me feel like? It's like once I get it, and I feel like I'm getting the hang of it, right? Getting the hang of it. And it helps me move out of perhaps a sense or a space of stagnation. Even though I have to reconcile some things that maybe I was like, or, sacrifices. There might be some sacrifices. But this change comes in, and then I get to it's so refreshing. It's like putting eye drops in your eyes. And and I'm not, in case anyone's like, oh, I don't like getting eye drops in my eyes, but the sensation, like maybe you can, like, what are those cool drops on the tongue or something like that's also coming through, or even just drinking like a really cold glass of water when you're hot. It's refreshing. Inevitably, this comes into a refreshing. And then spirit of the river, movement towards adventure, this brings in. And to trust, even though it might be a little overwhelming, your perspective is so plentiful, it will acclimate and it will become your new normal. It's just at this time, because there's so much information coming down, like that, those fly eyes, and transformation like a butterfly, and some sort of revelations, and you're crossing over into some sort of, it's like getting glasses. It's like, well, I didn't see that. You're paying attention. You're paying attention. That's what that feels like. Straight up, you're paying attention. Okay, now I'm truly closing out. I know I say that a lot and then ramble on, but sometimes I just gotta follow it. And then it brings you, like what felt squenchy before, even if I wasn't admitting it and I was trying to tell myself, no, it's not happening, or this, that, or the other. Oh, it feels really good. The High Priestess. It's like walking through coals as a test and a testament. And then putting my feet in cool water. Like that feeling. It does feel really, really nice. Sorry, I've got cats rubbing against my leg here. All right. It's refreshing. I feel like I'm watching a commercial for something. Or feeling a commercial. Knight of Wands, Six of Wands, and Knight of Cups is on the bottom. So for those where it may have to do with a relationship, I think if you already know, you know. The Chariot, Temperance. You're going to have to decide if it is in regards to a romantic relationship. Obviously, sovereignty. But there is the Fool here. Hangman's right underneath it, so you might be a little back and forth about, second chances or any of that. Could also be in relation to business. Don't worry about any of these cards are upside down, because that is just complete chaos. High Priestess, Knight of Wands, Six of Wands. Celebrate good times, come on. There's all that information coming down. All the information coming down. And it's being masked for a reason. For you. For you. Because there might be somebody else around you that also recognizes like these synchronicities, that how special you are. And that's not taking away from anyone else's specialties. But when somebody understands your specialties, they can, what is that term? Ride the tail of it or something like that. There's that freedom again. Oh, it feels so good. I'm going to leave it here because I'm just kind of like relishing in it. It feels like there's a lot of fire and water, but it's grounded. The squeeze of the grounded earth. And that squeeze is going to inevitably prove to be the opening for like glasses. Right? It's like you're going to get, I was going to say like you're going to get a third, but like it's like actually like your third eye will go pop. And it can like move around. It's fantastic. It's a great feeling. There's emotions to follow with it. So there is that. It's not overwhelming. There may be overwhelming moments. Be sure to ground, even if it's in simple things. And it's like, whew, I'm feeling this energy. If your empathic skills are growing, this, that, or the other, you're like, oh, this is a lot. Ground. utilize the earth element to support that as your eyes wide open. It feels great. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time.